What's going on, everybody? This is LB the Realist with Surrealistic Studio, Surreal News, where the real is surreal. So I wanted to keep this video, this first video that I've done in a while here. You know, I took one of my hiatus, and you know how much I love that. But I wanted to keep this one light and just kind of come to you guys and talk about a certain situation that I've been watching unfold between Jimmy Dore and TYT. Now, we've watched this situation unfold over the last few years where Jimmy Dore was actually a part of TYT, the Young Turks, at one point in time, and they were all good, they were all friendly, they were all, you know, on the same team. Now, people have been telling Jimmy Dore to leave the Young Turks for a long time now, for some years now. They've been telling Jimmy Dore that he needs to break away from TYT and just do his own thing. Jimmy Dore would always say, hey, look, you know, I understand that, but, you know, Jank, one of the owners at TYT, he's a great guy. You know, he's my friend. He let me do my own kind of show at the Young Turks. And, you know, you don't see that. You don't see organizations that are willing to allow somebody like Jimmy Dore on to paint a counter narrative of the main show, which is the Young Turks. They had something called Aggressive Progressives with Jimmy Dore, and there was a few other people. I don't remember their names. Excuse me. I know if I heard them, I would remember them. Some of you guys already know. But he had a show called Aggressive Progressives on TYT, which Jank and Anna Kasparian of TYT did allow Jimmy Dore to speak his piece and to run the show. Well, I don't know about running the show, but pretty much he allowed him to say what he wanted to say, you know, without any hiccups or stifles or anything like that, you know. But something happened along the line, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, or if it was something that, you know, I know they talked about it in videos, but you get a sense that there's something in the background that happened that was just, it's personal. You know, there's a personal reason behind the breakaway from TYT. And I don't know what that personal reason is. All I know is that now Jimmy Dore has made it a point to go after TYT and to go after Jank and Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian of TYT. And he's been making videos on them for a while now about how they continue to Russiagate. You know, they believe in the whole Russia hacking conspiracy theory. And, you know, anybody who paints a counter narrative to theirs, they paint as, you know, paid off by Russia or Putin puppets or whatever you call it. You know, they just parrot the mainstream media when it comes to the whole Russiagate conspiracy theory. He also called them out about their coverage on Syria. Now, this is where it gets messy, because TYT did a video recently basically calling out Jimmy Dore and calling out Aaron Mate. Aaron Mate is an award-winning journalist who actually spent time in Syria and did a lot of reporting on the subject. He's written articles on the subject. He is, I guess, by any metric, a expert on the issue out in Syria, right? So they call him out in the video. Anna Kasparian is giving him the bird and flipping him off and, you know, saying F him because he doesn't believe that Assad, the leader of Syria, used chemical weapons against his own people. Because Aaron Mate supposedly doesn't believe that. That's the reason why she's flipping him off. That's the reason why they decided to attack him in the way that they're attacking him. And Aaron Mate's position, from what I'm seeing, is that there was no clear evidence to support that theory, especially when at a time when Assad was winning the war on his end. There would be no reason for him to use chemical weapons against his own people at a time where he was winning. And he knew that action would get other countries like the U.S. involved, and then thus we had the Syria airstrikes. Trump went ahead and bombed Syria off of supposed evidence that Assad used chemical weapons against his own people. And Aaron Mate has studied this issue. He actually did a lot of reporting on this issue, and he found that there were whistleblowers at the OPCW that came out and said, hey, our investigation was actually compromised, and they're not telling the right story. And these whistleblowers were basically kicked out of the organization or the investigation. So Aaron Mate is giving us this information, and TYT is attacking him for it, from what I'm getting at. And they bring Jimmy Dore into it, because Jimmy Dore is friends with Aaron Monte. He has him on the show regularly, and he basically, he's been going at TYT for a while now. So TYT got fed up, and they in the video that they're flipping off Aaron Monte, they actually start talking about Jimmy Dore, and then it's called. There's two separate videos. They have one that's flipping off Aaron Monte, and then they have a separate video that actually addresses Jimmy Dore. It says TYT's response to Jimmy Dore, in which they basically call him or try to get him wrapped up in the whole hashtag Me Too movement, situation, saying that he basically sexually harassed Anna Kasparian back when he was on TYT, which is absolutely ridiculous that she would bring that up and use this and weaponize it to try to paint him as some kind of sexual deviant, when Jimmy Dore himself and others have already put out the videos and put out the receipts of the things and the type of topics that TYT, Jank, and Anna Kasparian included like to talk about how Jank wanted to legalize bestiality, about how can you spot the camel toe, or whose camel toe is this, in which they degraded women and basically put their private parts up on their websites, unblurred and uncensored for anybody to view. And this is the type of atmosphere that was going on at TYT for years. But they want to try to paint Jimmy Dore as some kind of sexual deviant, and they want to say that this is this isn't what TYT is all about. And in the latest video, they actually call out Jimmy Dore fans, thus bringing you to this video here. It's one thing if you're going to feud with another YouTuber, Jimmy Dore. It's one thing if you're going to, have your issues with them. But when you start calling out Jimmy Dore's fans, now that's where people like me got to get involved. Because I am a Jimmy Dore fan. I am a subscriber of Jimmy Dore, and I'm no longer a subscriber of the Young Turks. The reason why was the whole Russiagate conspiracy theory. Another one was the fact that they're just parroting mainstream narratives. And that's not the way it was supposed to be. That's not the way it started for me. One of the biggest progressive or so-called progressive or political YouTube channels, and they're basically doing the bidding of the establishment. There's already talks of how they took a big check, $20-something million from Democratic insiders, and I just don't support that. But when you start calling out Jimmy Dore fans because we don't agree with how you're trying to paint the picture of him or the situation that unfolded. Now, Jimmy Dore actually came out in the video and he explained the whole sexual harassment issue. And basically, he explained that Anna Kasparian came to work one day in a short skirt. She had a class with her because she teaches some kind of class. She bent over and the whole class, including Jimmy Dore, saw her butt. And they saw her thong and everything like that. Jimmy Dore, being a comedian, and also being Anna Kasparian's friend, thought that it was okay for him to make a simple joke about it. And he said, "Hey, Anna, nice new skirt. And everybody laughed. Anna Kasparian got embarrassed, so she tried to come at Jimmy Dore. It fell flat, and all of a sudden, she wants to bring this up and weaponize it and try to say that Jimmy Dore always sexually harassed her while he was present at the Young Turks. And it's disgusting, honestly. It really is disgusting. Now, regardless of how you feel about Jimmy Dore's comments towards Anna Kasparian, I don't believe that you should disparage women for what they wear. I also understand that we do live in the society in which people are judged on what they wear. Every single day, I'm judged by my appearance. I go outside looking like this, and people think I'm, some hip-hop thug, and I am in hip-hop, but I'm not a thug. You go to a job interview, and what do? You dress in a nice button-up shirt. You may have some slacks on with a tie, or at least a button-up. You're trying to look presentable for your future employer so that they may hire you. So people absolutely judge other people based on how they look. Now, I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying I agree with it, because I don't. I'm saying this is the reality. So Anna Kasparian absolutely has the right to wear whatever she wants to wear at work. Hey, I'm a dude. I'm not going to complain that she bent over and I saw her butt. I'm not going to complain about that. I'm not going to apologize for being a man and liking a woman's body. Now, they tried to say that Jimmy Dore actively sought out to look up her skirt. That was another disgusting thing that they tried to paint about Jimmy Dore. Why would you flip that innocent situation like that and try to make it seem like he was actively looking up her skirt? That's just stupid. That's stupid. That's childish. And they honestly should be ashamed of themselves for saying that and taking it that far, because it's really getting to a point where, like Jimmy Dore said in his video, they can't argue with him on the merits of the discussion. They can't counter, his points and what he's saying. They can't defend themselves. So they automatically switch to, okay, well, we're going to say that, you sexually harassed Anna. Anna actually wrote an email to Jimmy Dore saying, basically trying to blackmail him, saying that, hey, I'm going to release this info if you don't shut up about, what you're saying about us. Basically, that's what the email said, or with the text message. It was a text message or email, I forget. She tried to blackmail him with that whole situation. And I think it's wrong. Now, again, I don't think that women should be judged on what they wear. They can wear whatever they want to wear. But I absolutely don't think that Jimmy Dore or anybody else should be judged by how they react. Well, not by how they react to it, but what they say about it. People are allowed to say what they want to say. It's called free speech. Jimmy Dore didn't say anything that was wildly inappropriate. It wasn't wildly disgusting. It was none of that. It was a totally innocent, very, I don't know how to explain it, very lighthearted joke between friends. And he explained the situation that he actually apologized to her at the time, and basically said he wouldn't do it again. And she rubbed it off like, oh, we're friends. It's no problem. It's no issue. Now, years later down the line, we find ourselves in this situation where them, TYT, they're trying to weaponize that situation against Jimmy Dore. So in addition to calling Aaron Mate, the award-winning journalist, a paid Russian asset, they're calling Jimmy Dore a sexual deviant and saying he sexually harassed Anna. It's incredible. It's incredible watching this all unfold. And my only gripe with the whole situation, and I'm totally happy that Jimmy Dore has left the Young Turks for good. And I'm glad that somebody is out there calling them out on their BS. What I don't understand is all of these things were happening and they all stood by each other and let it happen. If Jimmy Dore, in fact, was sexually harassing Anna or other women there at TYT, why wasn't anything done about it at the most progressive YouTube channel ever in history? The most successful progressive, so-called progressive YouTube channel. Why wasn't anything done about Jimmy Dore? Again, like he said in his own video, why did they keep booking him if he was such an issue? But no, this is the atmosphere that they provided at TYT. Jimmy Dore didn't go to TYT and turn them out. They were already turned out when Jimmy got there. This is the type of environment that they fostered. Looking up women's skirts, posting their private parts on their websites, talking about legalizing bestiality, saying that, I kid you not, saying that if a woman gets a dog off and he he gets off, is it wrong because he liked it because he got off? Like, these are the kind of conversations that they were having at TYT. And I don't remember Jank ever saying that he was a comedian or amateur comedian or anything like that. So that's kind of strange, right? That's kind of strange. So I don't appreciate TYT calling out Jimmy Dore fans. I absolutely resent that. I absolutely resent anybody, that's saying that, Jimmy deserves to be tarred and feathered because of this innocent situation that happened between friends at the time. It makes no sense to me. Not at all. Not at all. So it's weird watching this whole situation unfold. I'm wondering why it took Jimmy Dore so long to break away from TYT initially, because we have been telling him for years leave TYT, and he stuck with them and called Jank his friend. Just like Bernie Sanders. He's my friend. Joe Biden, he's my friend, and I won't. No. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that's your friend. We want to hear you take action. We want to hear you stand up for what you say you stand up for. And eventually Jimmy Dore did leave TYT, so that's good. Now he's, going against them, and that's what we want to see. We want to see them called out for their BS. And especially when they seem to be talking so much crap about a guy that, Aaron Mate, he seemed like the nicest guy. I mean, I remember Jimmy Dore would get so irritated at Aaron Mate because Aaron Mate refused to talk badly about anybody. he would refuse to like say anything bad about them, and Jimmy Dore is just like laughing, like getting irritated, because he's like, Aaron, these people are, you know, are nothing like that. You know, they did this and they did that, and Aaron just refuses to go in on them. You know, that's just the kind of guy that he is. So to see TYT and Anna Kasparian flipping him off on camera, and you know, saying really horrible stuff about him, it sucks to watch. It really does. It really does. So that was just my kind of brief overview of the whole situation that's going on right now, that's unfolding between Jimmy Dore and TYT. You know, I don't want to really get into the weeds or really get into the gutter with it. It seems like there was something personal that happened in the background that really led up to the split between these two groups. And I don't really know what it is, but it is. You know, it is what it is. And no, I don't agree with TYT calling Aaron Monte a Russian asset. And it just goes into a bigger line of thinking that TYT perpetuates and that they really embody. The whole TYT train of thought. You know, if you believe in Russiagate, if you believe that Assad gassed his own people when he was about to win the war, if you really believe these things, it's like you're trapped in the liberal bubble. And you don't want to challenge anything that's that's on the outskirts of that bubble. You can't fathom anything on the outskirts of the bubble. You just refuse to. You know, so you may be a viewer of TYT, you may be a Russiagator, you may be a believer of the CIA and the FBI and the powers that be, but I'm generally, you know, not that trusting in large secretive corporations and organizations that I don't really believe have our best interest at heart. You know, so when it comes to stories like the one in Syria where Assad supposedly gassed his own people, and you have actual whistleblowers that come out from the OPCW and say, hey, our investigation was compromised, and you don't want to even, you know, entertain those whistleblowers, you don't want to entertain that side of the story, well, then you may find yourself in the TYT bubble of thought. And that's what I'm totally against. We think outside the box, we question everything, and, you know, we don't have time to be trapped in that liberal bubble. You know, we have to push past that. And unfortunately, too many of us are trapped. You know, and that's just the reality of it. But let me know your thoughts on this subject, on this situation. Leave me your comments down below. All my information will forever be in the description box, so click the links if you feel inclined. Like this video, share, and subscribe. Until next time, folks, I'm LB, the realist with Surrealistic Studios. I'm out.